Here we go.
All right. We're good?
Yes. I think we are good. So can you see me?
Yes, I got you.
Fantastic. So I'm going to minimize some of these distractions on Facebook, and I'm going to silence Facebook right now so that I don't have any feedback. Go ahead and silence Facebook, Maysa.
Okay.
Feedback. Go ahead and silence. All right, you got your Facebook on mute?
Yep.
All right. Well, how does it feel, author? Today is your big launch date of your book, Urban Trauma.
Yes, it is the big launch date. It is both exciting, exhilarating, and exhausting.
And exhausting? How many hours a week are you working right now?
Probably like 70 or more, 80. I don't even know. I've stopped counting.
It seems like my book was published 5 years ago, but we worked so hard. That thing was published back in April 25th of 2017. So it was just like 5 months ago. And it seemed like 5 years. So there's just so much work that goes on behind the scenes with the marketing, the publication, working with 10, 15, 20 different people to make it happen. So today is such a big day for you. You're climbing the rankings on Amazon. You're feeling a little bit exhausted, but you're excited about many good things to come tomorrow and for years to come too, because this is such a huge publication for you. Talk to me about it.
It is. I mean, for me, it's the pinnacle of sort of my career, what I've been working towards, what I've been spending all, my time in terms of my work and my research, and the time that I spend with people who have experienced urban trauma, who are trying to better understand it. I mean, all of those things put together, the culmination of all those things are happening today. So that's why I said exciting, exhilarating, but also exhausting.
Yeah. And I'm sure that you feel loved too, because so many people from around the world are saying, hey, we're buying your book. You're seeing your rankings go up on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's flying off the shelves. You feel all the support and all this love.
Yeah.
It's a special day that I want you to remember in perpetuity, because you're going to need it when you're speaking on stages, giving keynotes, when you're traveling around the world, when this book is an ultra bestseller, and you're just being pulled in so many different directions. But one of the things that I recommend is that you take a vacation after this book is published. So where are you going?
Maybe I'll do a staycation.
No.
In my backyard or something, which I haven't seen all summer. So I'd love to enjoy my backyard a little bit.
But specifically, Maysa, your book sends a powerful message, and our country needs some positive news. And your story is one of nothing but positivity and overcoming obstacles. In 60 seconds or less, tell me about your background, childhood, all the way through going through your PhD program at Yale to publishing this book. We just have a few minutes of keeping people's attention. I want people to hear your powerful story.
Yeah. Well, I was one of those kids that would definitely have been diagnosed with urban trauma. I was a kid that, started off life as the child of immigrant parents in this country, which is what we're seeing a lot of nowadays with the DACA issues. I was the one who had to help navigate my family's dealings here in the United States. And then, as I was growing up, my parents were really trying to figure out a way to survive in this country and to manage whatever it took to have a better life, because that's the dream that's put out there. That's the perception that every immigrant gets out in the world, that here is, this is the mecca for that. And then at the age of 13, my parents decided that they were going to go back to our home island of the Dominican Republic, and they decided that they were going to leave me here. And I think for a lot of different reasons, that decision was pivotal in my life. It changed everything that that I knew to be true at that time in terms of a stable home and a stable environment. And my life became really complicated after that. And, at 13, my daughter will be 13 in January, and I look at her, and I look at her little self, her development, her naiveness. And sometimes it breaks my heart, the thought that at 13, at her age, those life decisions had to be made, for me. And then, through a series of difficult family circumstances, it ended up that by the time I was about 15 or 16, I was essentially on my own. I was living I have been able to find a small apartment in Brooklyn, New York, which is where I was living. I was couch surfing a lot. I was staying with friends. I was trying to really, survive. Every day was a survival game. Every single day, I was trying to figure out a way to survive, and to get by, and to figure out, how am I going to do this? How am I going to figure out how to navigate this huge world that's in front of me? But I focused on my education. Somehow I knew that getting an education or staying focused on school was going to get me a ticket somewhere, at least out of Brooklyn.
Yes.
Education. Yeah, I just knew that I needed to stay focused on that.
My life too.
And so I did. And, even though there were clearly a lot of competing things that took a hold of me along the way that veered my focus, I always came back to that. And I always tried to stay true to being a good student and to graduating from high school. And then I was able to accomplish that. And I was able to be, I was the student class president of my high school. I spoke at my high school graduation. I then later on got accepted to University of Albany, upstate New York. And I remember that I arrived to Albany with one suitcase and in a Greyhound bus. Mm-hmm. And while everybody's parents were unpacking their Bed Bath & Beyond stuff and their linens and their sheets and, all the chaos that we do with kids when we're dropping them off in college, the financial aid director was the one who went to pick me up from the Greyhound station. Wow. With one suitcase. And that was my life for quite some time. It was a life of trying to figure things out on my own. And many pitfalls, many mistakes, many obstacles along the way. Mm-hmm. But I made it. I made it out of college. Again, I was the speaker during our college graduation, the commencement speaker. I was very proud of that. And I had many loving friends, and my friends became my family. They were very supportive. They created a circle of love around me, and they nurtured my soul. Mm-hmm. And I was really broken. I was a very, very broken person for a very long time. And, it took a lot of healing and a lot of work to get to where I'm at. And I felt, geez, if my life circumstances put me down this road, and for whatever the reasons were, whether it was the universe or God or whatever the reasons were, this is what was in front of me. Why not take the opportunity to share that testimony and that story with other people who may have struggled with the very same things, and who every day may find that they can't survive, that they can't get out, that they can't do better for themselves. And I wanted to be an example of a person that has really seen rock bottom and has very much had to survive the worst of circumstances, and still I stand, and still Absolutely. I am able to get ahead, and every goal that I set for myself, I accomplish it one at a time, one day at a time. I just keep working at it, keep chipping at it. I said I'm going to write a book. I wrote a book. I said I was going to open a business. I opened a business. I said I was going to be a psychologist. I became a psychologist. I said I was going to be board certified. I became board certified. And that's it. That's how we do it. We just set the goal and we work that goal until we accomplish it.
Well, I want to make one thing clear, and that is you're not just a psychologist, but you are a business owner of a very successful company called Integrated Wellness Group in Connecticut.
Yeah.
And I think you've got more than 30 or 50 employees, and you've got many psychologists working underneath you. This is a company that's expanding. It's on fire. You're a very respected psychologist within the state of Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
you're just blowing up. So you're part of what I believe is the success formula put in action. You are the American
Mm.
dream. The
Mm.
success formula is idea plus plan plus execution equals
Mm.
success. I talk about this in my book.
Absolutely.
You come
Yeah.
up with the idea, you work through the plan, but you execute every single day. And this stuff is not easy. You know, I'm looking at your office right now, and you've got tons of papers, and you've got a lot of work to do in that office. You've got a book to
I
write.
know. I'm
You've got
sorry.
a family. You've got kids. You've got a 13-year-old daughter. You've got a husband. You've got all these things that require juggling and management. And what I'm amazed at is the humility with which you approach your life. And people can look into your eyes and say, wow, if Maysa can do this, so can I. She's overcome these daunting circumstances. And what I'm most proud of you for, Maysa, is that not only have you achieved, but you're sharing your story in true authenticity and integrity. You're not hiding anything about yourself because you know that within your story, there is power. And that as you
Yeah.
share that story, you're empowering other people. You're empowering other women. You're empowering young girls. You're empowering minorities. You're empowering business leaders. You are the American dream. Many of us would not have known about it had you not written your book.
That's true.
And now that the book is out, it's on
Yeah.
the shelves, it's receiving very positive acclaim. What next for you?
Um, you know, for me, along the way, it's funny. I just talked to you the other day because you're a great friend and a dear person confidant that I trust. And, you know, when you start to get into this book business, people want to promote you in a lot of different ways, and they want you to get on this show and that show. And, you know, one of the things that I said to you is that for me to stay true to myself and to be authentic to the work that I'm doing, it's not about the publicity for me. It's about the number of lives that I can continue to save, right? One of the reasons, you know, among others, why I wrote the book is because I knew that with Integrated Wellness Group, I am able to make impact in this community. But Connecticut is only one state, you know, in that of many. And when I look at the global impact that urban trauma has on people, the book was the only vehicle that I can reach hundreds of thousands of people, and for them to know that there is a path to healing, for them to know that what they're going through is frankly quite normal given the circumstances. And that when you can acknowledge and love yourself and understand that there is a normal that exists within that, then you can start to open yourself up to what healing looks like.
Yes.
And so, you know, what's next for me is to continue that journey. Honestly, I feel like my purpose in this world is to be a healer. I'm an emotional healer and a healer that heals those that are inflicted by, you know, by their inner demons, by the things that weigh them down mentally. And I hope that the book is yet another extension of me that can go out globally. You know, you may not feel me or see me face to face, but spiritually and emotionally, it is all of my DNA is in that book, and I'm touching you directly through you reading the book, because I'm sharing my life with you like an open book.
Oh, absolutely. Like an open book. And, you know, you and I, we have not known each other for an incredibly long amount of time, but we met each other at an executive program up at Dartmouth in New Hampshire last year. And it seems like that was a long time ago, but it's been less.
It does.
You know, I completed my book within that time. You completed your book within that time frame. It's amazing what you can get accomplished in less than a year if you stay focused. If you
That's
stay
right.
focused and chip away at your dream every single day. So, you know, Maysa, you've given us a lot of powerful tidbits, a lot of powerful nuggets about, you know, how to live our lives, how to be the best possible person that we can be. You've got a beautiful journey ahead of you with this book. with the
Thank you.
message that you're sharing with the world, with the healing that's taking place in your life and the blessings that you're giving to other people. You are a role model. You are an example of how to own your truth, how to step into your power, and how to be all that you can be by stepping into it with true authenticity. Tell folks just a little final nugget that you want to share with them to remember, because I know that they're going to go out and get this book, Urban Trauma, which is on Amazon right now. It's going to be on Barnes & Noble pretty soon too. But tell folks, where to find this book, what they can expect out of this book, and all that good stuff.
Yeah. A final nugget is that don't look at this book and think to yourself, well, I don't have urban trauma. This doesn't apply to me. Because that's not the right lens to see this by. The idea is that we all, at one point or another, touch a person of color at some point in our lives, right? We are either that person. We either work with people that are struggling. We live with people that struggle. We interact with, we have family members. So this is not about just how do I get something out of this journey. This is really about understanding a phenomenon, a deep-rooted condition that has existed in communities of color, and in particular in the Black community, as a result of slavery for a very, very long time. And I think that what this book helps to do is to unlock the mystery around how our psyche has been affected, right? We've talked about the physical brutalization. We've talked about the social and political impact. We've talked about a lot of things as a result of racism in this country. But what we don't talk enough about is our pain. Yeah. It's our emotional pain. What happens to us emotionally when we feel hopeless and powerless sometimes to change not only our circumstances, but to change the community and the world and the environment around us.
And the fact that we've been programmed to think that getting help is wrong, or getting help manifests weakness. Yeah. That's a horrible plague within communities of color. Yeah. And we see the psychological disparities within families. We see the issues of undiagnosed mental issues within our families. Absolutely. Because people are not willing to get the help, or they fear being stigmatized. We've got to get beyond that. And I am one who is a true advocate of mental health. I've been a recipient of mental health services. I have a spiritual healer in my life. I have a spiritual practice. I have a meditative practice. I have a church group that I visit and belong to. It's all these things that we need to do to be working on the healing of our spirit, because the vestiges of slavery were passed down in such a way where you might not understand everything that was done to you and the psychological baggage that you're carrying, but you're carrying some baggage. To be released from that is powerful. With your book, you have another release in your life. With my book, Stepping Out Authentically and Powerfully, with my truthful story, I have another release in my life.
That's right.
One of the things that I do love about you, Maysa, is that you did not write the book to become successful. You were already successful before you wrote the book. You own a whole building and a clinic with, dozens of people working underneath you. You are a woman of standard. I was financially successful. I was wealthy. I was well-known. I was all those things before I wrote my book. I don't even use my book as income. It's not income for me. My book is my ministry to the world. So your book is your ministry to the world. This is not a for-profit model that we have here. It is, let me get my message out to the world to help heal and bless others, because I've been through a thing or two, and I don't want you to have to go through as much in order to get to your blessing on the other side.
Yeah. And I think the powerful thing about the book is that I've been through a thing or two, and then I bring my expertise. Yeah. I've studied this for years, 11 years in school, trying to get through this, 15 years out in practice. I mean, those combined years, in addition to my life experiences, I think what makes it very powerful. And not just my story, because I do share, I was honored to be able to share some other very powerful stories in the book. but I think it can be a guiding light, and for no other reason than, for you to feel like, okay, there is another component going on here. And as I'm seeing the issues that are going on every single day in society, I can now pinpoint what's going on, what, the trauma impact that happens to people. I mean, look at Vegas, look at look at the natural disasters that are going on. People are living in traumatic times. This is not, it's almost become commonplace that like every day there's some other disaster that's happening, and we're being flooded with this information daily. We're being flooded, our children are being flooded. And so it's important to have some insight. We're no longer in a place where we can say, I'm just not going to pay attention to that anymore. I'm going to ignore it. It's a little box that I'm not going to open up. The box gets opened up every single day.
Every single day. Every single day. Maysa, thank you so much for your time. Guys, we've had Dr. Maysa Akbar, a wonderful friend of mine who I actually encouraged to write this book and to get published and to do it the right way. So her publisher is my publisher, and our publisher is fantastic, Purpose-Driven Publishing. Wonderful publishing house out there that does a fantastic job publishing authors with great purpose.
That's right.
Who are not focused on becoming famous or becoming rich from writing a book, but who are focused on sharing their message with the world to make the world a better place, because we are people of purpose. Right. So I want to leave people with exactly where to find you, your website, where to find your book, all that good stuff. Give us the URLs.
Okay, so for Urban Trauma, the book, it's MaysaAkbar.com. All the information.
Come on now.
Oh, yes. I forgot it was an ethnic name. So they'll be like, what? What's her name again?
Akbar.
Okay. Okay, so Maysa, Maysa, Akbar, Akbar.com. There you can find all of the information that you may need in terms of purchasing the book, information about the book. If you're interested in, getting me for a speaking engagement, anything like that, that information is there. For the practice, that URL is integratedwellnessgroup.org. There's you will find all the information about our services and our programs. If you're in the tri-state area, certainly we have a nice reach in that area. And we're able to do many, many things with our programs beyond the here in Connecticut. So, and then you can always follow me on Dr. Akbar on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Well, hey, my friend, it's been a pleasure having you, and we lift you up. We're grateful for you, and we love you. And congratulations on this very special day.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.